Right. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Mr. Un. Thank you for joining us today. And we really appreciate that you respond to our invitation to participate in our interview. Okay, let me introduce myself. Is Nur Aslina Ismail. And with
Yes.
me today is my colleagues, my teammates, which is James Raj Samuel and
Yes.
Vigneswaran Nambia. So we are all Master Scholar student from University Technology Malaysia under Space Program. Okay, so as we have given to you in our introduction letter, that the purpose of this interview is solely for educational purposes. This is to support our analysis for our thesis, which the topic of our thesis is sense making, leadership sense making, and employee adaptation amid rapid digital transformation in the legal industry. So,
Okay.
yes, so I believe you understand that that's why you have been chosen as a one of our respondent.
Okay.
Based on your numbers of years experience in legal industry, you can see the changes or like
Oh,
10,
absolutely.
absolutely right in the digital
Absolutely.
transformation. So we believe you are the right candidates that can provide to us a broader view and our
Yes.
analysis. All
In
right.
other words, I'm old enough to know what it was before.
No, 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 no.
Wise
Experience
enough,
in
I would say.
wise enough. You are the right person. So, before that, let me recap that this session will be recorded, and this video recording will be submitted to our university, but it is solely on confidential basis and purposely
Okay.
only for education. So,
Okay. Sure.
all right. Uh, if there is no further question from your side, Mr. Un, I shall proceed with the first sections of our analysis.
Sure.
Okay,
No
sure.
problems.
Okay,
Yes.
my
Please
fellow
go ahead.
friends. All right. The first objective, the first section, the topic is transformational leadership as sense making. As sense making, it's more to you as the leader. So the research objective is we want to find out how the leaders in Malaysia law firm make sense of any digital transformation, whether there's a pressure and how constructive on this transformation, which required technical change initiative. So that is the key. We want to see how the leaders
Yeah.
react. Okay. On top of that, we want to know and understand what is the leader sense making process when you communicate to your subordinate, your employees, the rationale, the implication, and the benefit that you gain from this digital transformation. All right. So that
Okay.
mainly the first sections of the topic. So our first question, Mr. Un, what does digital transformation means for your firm?
Okay. But I started my two firms, both in Malaysia and Singapore in 2002. And there have been several waves of different sort of technologies coming in. So, from, somewhere close to about the year 2000, 2002, then you started having the internet. And that was why we could grow. And that's why I could also work in both Malaysia and Singapore because of the
Mm,
internet, right? I don't have to carry my papers around, right? All the papers were in the web, right? Now, but presently, the digital transformation that we have now, which is most relevant, would be the use of AI
mm,
in legal work. So that has both dangers and also a great amount of opportunity, right? It also changes the structure of our profession and changes the emphasis of our training as well.
mm,
So let me explain, right? So AI is to some extent is quite dumb, to some extent is quite good, right? So we use it a lot in terms of preparation of documents. So we subscribe to LexisNexis, Harvey. There's an AI tool for our cases. And then legal research is also very useful, right? And so we use it more to start off the legal analysis, right? So we will then, check the sources because, as you know, there have been a couple of incidents very well publicized where people have been punished for uh, for using AI generated documents in court where the cases were fictitious or and so on, So, I mean, it's happened in the US. I think the first case was in the US, and then it's happened a few times in Malaysia as well, and in Singapore as well, right? So, lawyers have also been punished as a result of that for not checking their sources. So, we always ask our lawyers to check the sources, right? So, what it means for us in terms of the firm are twofold. Number one, it should increase our productivity. It should
Okay.
increase the level of service to our clients. Okay? Number two, it should also make redundant certain types of work,
Mm.
which is repetitive and low level.
Can you explain
Now,
that further, Mr. Wen? How it become
meaning
redundant?
that, let's say, for example, I do legal research, right? In previous times, I may have asked a junior, can we please let me have the basic principles first, and then let me look at the basic principles, and then I would then ask you to refine the research and focus on certain areas, right? That
Mhm.
first stage is no longer done.
By
That first
human.
stage is AI, right?
Okay,
That first
so
stage, right?
first stage is
So
AI, then
AI,
only.
and then of course then I speak with my juniors and say, okay, now focus on this area or emphasize on this area, right? So if you are a lawyer who is trained only to do research and not do anything else, you have a big problem on your hands because you can be replaced, right? So that comes to the third point that I want to raise.
Mhm.
It is changing the nature of the legal training that lawyers require, and emphasizing uh, certain skills which are technology proof.
Mhm.
Let me explain. Let's say, for example, you get a case, right? What is not technology proof is the legal basic research and the legal research. That is not technology. That is not that is AI. AI can do that. But what is not replaceable is as a human being sitting down there, speaking with the client and getting a handle of what the client needs and requires and what their objectives are, and getting a sense of their position, how far they can push, how far the lawyers can encourage them to do certain things, and what is the resistance in terms of legal costs. All of that is not capable of being reproduced by AI,
Okay.
right? It's a
Like,
personal skill. So what is
pers-
happening now is that the younger lawyers, if they do not acquire those personal skills of strategy, client management, um, they become uh, obsolete very quickly, right?
oh,
So it's changing the way the profession uh, trains, and changing the way that uh, how certain people can rise very quickly, right? Those who have those people skills and those who do not, right? So it's differentiating people in a very stark way, whether you can or cannot, right? Because some people just cannot get the strategy right. I mean, that's an
strategy.
issue. Yeah, because some lawyers, they just cannot get it,
This
right?
is
They're
soft
always
skill.
saying, soft skills, and also listening to people, You'll
Listening
be
skill.
surprised. A lot of lawyers don't listen to people, right? Because they're so impressed by their own cleverness and their own wisdom that they impose their solutions on the client. When the client is trying to tell them something different, they're not listening to the client, right? So those skills are now coming to the fore because those skills are AI proof, right? So that is the third thing. The different sort of characteristics and different training in how the lawyers uh, achieve their competence different things are being emphasized by AI purely because certain other skills have now become redundant.
That's what we mean by
Uh,
redundant. Okay.
yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Un, since you talking about the change just now, I will go to our second question. How did you realize the need for digital change? Just now, the way that you mentioned, there's a positive and negative. So, but then you realize you need the digital change. Definitely. So when did you realize that we actually, the way I heard that your firm dependent on this digital change?
The-
When did you realize that?
okay. Basically, we have a lot of international business. So that being the case, we are exposed to how our competitors, international law firms, do
Mm.
their work, right? And that's one, right? So we are starting to see that they are making increasing use of AI. And if we don't get onto using those platforms, we will be pushed aside. We will not be able to compete. That's
No,
one.
complete. Okay.
The second thing, of course, is the more that we read and the more the AI industry is also developing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the more that we read and the more that the AI developers come to us, the more possibilities we see where our work can be assisted by AI, right? So it's at the very beginning it was very limited, but now it's now come to a stage where it's become a quite
Dependent.
useful, right?
Correct.
Quite useful, right? So the technology change is also a factor in adoption, right? So at the very beginning, if you adopted it at the very beginning, number one, it won't suit your purpose, and number two, it's not very efficient, it's not very good, right? But now coming down, about maybe now I think I would say 4 or 5 years down the road, right? From when AI first started appearing, right? You can see that the products have been refined. The AI models are much better, and so the people who are developing the software have also learned from their experience of their users, and so they make a better product now.
Okay.
So as they improve the product, then when we see it, then obviously it
It's,
makes it easier for us to adopt because we can see how it can be useful, right?
all right. So since that you admit that and you realize that the digital change is something that useful and need to be adopted, then my next question, what challenges or concern that you expected from this digital transformation?
Well, I think uh, it's a tool like any other. So, but so there are a few issues. Number one would be we have to think about how we train our lawyers, right? So that's one issue. Um, the second issue is that so we have to make sure that our lawyers are able, especially our younger lawyers, are able to make use of this product, and also not only that, but they start uh, thinking strategically and acquiring the soft skills much earlier than in previous years, right? So in
Okay.
previous years in a law firm, you become an associate, you become a senior associate, you become a partner, and then so you do research and senior associate, you start to meet the clients, then junior partner, some of the smaller clients, the firm would let you. All of that is out now, Okay,
Alright.
no, yeah, all of that is out now. So
But
it's disruptive in that sense.
by the way, Mr. Un, just now you are more emphasized on the usage of AI. But I look at the digital transformations right now, not even at the law firm, even the civil services like the court, they have all the e-filing,
Yeah,
e-hearing.
but there, yeah, but that is not hasn't changed our practice very much.
Mm,
So for example, Zoom hearings, right, is
mm,
still a hearing, right? You just have
okay.
a camera in front of you and you have a screen and so on, but it's still a
Mm,
hearing. You're still, one to one with the judge. So whatever, so to that extent, it doesn't change. Even, I mean, previously, they were, very hot on digital documents and
mm-hmm.
how, the boast, of some of these lawyers were, oh, I can just go to court with an iPad and conduct a trial.
Yeah.
Okay, I've tried it and it's so difficult, right? Because then you have to go and hack. It's very difficult to compare documents. So sometimes, when you need to look at a case, when you're preparing for cross-examination, you want two or three documents in front of you because,
Mm,
one leads to the other leads to that. It's just, I mean, it's just not practical. So even though we do e-filing, all the documents are electronic, but when we go for trials, right, quietly, the judge interpreter will call up and say, can you please bring hard copy? Huh? All
okay,
right.
so
Yeah, so I myself, I mean, I'm quite a digital, I mean, electronically, I'm quite early adopter of all these things. I still have to work on the basis of
all
paper
right.
documents,
So
right? So to that extent that, but it's made certain things easier, right? Filing documents, you can do it from the office.
yeah.
Okay, fantastic,
Right.
good, right? To that extent that is useful, right?
Okay.
But for the, but when we started on this journey, the dream, was for everybody to be able to appear in court and not have any paper and just electronic documents and all
Still.
that. That ideal, if you go to any court in Malaysia, has not been realized.
Okay.
Okay, that ideal has not been realized. The display of the documents is still paper is still being used. Huh?
Okay, so that is the challenges right now. The 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 intention to digitalize is there, but as at today, in your opinion, is still a challenge to everybody. So,
Yeah.
okay, my next two question is regarding your subordinate. So, how
Okay.
did you communicate these changes to your team? Do you have
Uh,
like you call for meeting or there's a briefing? How you what do you
okay.
call make
Usually there's a
them?
vendor. Usually there's a vendor that comes,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will say. Then they will usually demonstrate their product. Right. So they'll come to the office and then they put it on screen and then we look at it. Then
Okay.
usually, so that's the first stage. So that we get to know what this is about. Then
Mm-hmm.
the second stage will be they will usually give you a trial period for you to run around. Okay. So then so what I would say, I would maybe fiddle with it, but I would say to my lawyers, during the trial period, use it. Okay. At the end of the trial period, give me a feedback. Is it useful? Is it something that you're using? Is it something that you foresee that you can use? And then, of course, then we balance that against the cost and the ease of implementation because some of the stuff is difficult to implement. And then we make a decision whether to adopt it.
So
Right?
actually, you have already answered our question. How do you help your employees understand and
Ah,
adapt to the new technologies?
yes,
Actually, you let your lawyers, your staff, yeah, to familiar with training. Then after that, you get the feedback. If they happy with it, it's really help. Then you will
yes,
adopt. Otherwise, you
correct.
put aside. All right.
Yes.
Okay. That is our first five question. You have another like 10 question. I will hand over to my colleagues, James,
Okay.
on the second section. Over to you, James. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Azlina. Mr. Woon,
Okay.
I'll be taking over for the next section.
Sure.
Okay, as for the next section, I just want to, this is basically about caring as embedded organizational value, meaning to
Okay.
say, how do we care about the staff for this adoption? Okay, so how
Okay.
did your communication influence staff adoption for this data transformation into like AI and everything?
Uh, Influence. Sorry.
Your communication, how do you, your communication influence the staff?
Oh, okay. So, number one is on a daily basis. Of course, we use the AI products,
Mm-hmm.
and so we do encourage them to use those products, and to and incorporate that into their workflow, right?
I see.
So as I mentioned, I mean, usually the vendor will come,
Mm-hmm.
demonstrate, and then we have a trial period.
Mm-hmm.
And if we find that it's acceptable, and then we
Mm-hmm.
find that the cost proposition is
Yeah.
acceptable to us, then we adopt it, right? Then they will continue using it, right? So now the thing is, I would not, uh, I would not specifically say or specify you must do
Mm-hmm.
a certain piece of work by using AI. I would
Okay.
not do that,
I see.
right?
Okay.
So I
Okay.
would say, this is what I need.
Okay.
And then you prepare it,
Yeah.
and then you use the best tools
Mm-hmm.
available to you to prepare
Mm-hmm.
what I want,
Yeah.
right? And if that includes AI, good and fine, right? But if it doesn't include any digital things or whatever, you can do
Mm-hmm.
some other way of doing it. Also, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But they will find that it's much more efficient and much more cost effective to use
Yeah.
all these digital tools, right?
True.
So yeah, so to the extent that I don't specify the
Mm-hmm.
use, I make it available to
Mm.
my lawyers,
Awesome.
right? And
Yeah.
then
Okay.
I leave it to their discretion how
Mm-hmm.
best
The
to use those tools to
true.
achieve the purpose or the aims or objectives that I want, that the
Mm-hmm.
case requires, that I require.
Mm. Okay. Great. But is there any resistance to this new technology? Is there staff resist to use, or they say back to papers will be much better or maybe more efficient for them? Is there any resistance to adapt to this new technology?
Um, well, certain aspects of it, right? So,
Yeah.
for example, those electronic documents in court presentation,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
So, so what is happening now, which I think is fairly silly, is this, sometimes some courts say, oh, okay, we want electronic documents, right? So what happens? I
Mm.
go there, I argue the case, I will have the paper in front of me, but I will
Yeah.
have to dedicate a lawyer
Mm.
to go and show documents,
Yeah. Must prove.
right?
Yes.
So there'll
Understand.
be
Yeah.
one of my juniors sitting next to me, a fully qualified lawyer who
Mm-hmm.
has the sole purpose of clicking on the PDF, the links,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's dumb, really.
Mm.
You see the ridiculousness of that
Yes.
situation, right?
Yeah. Understand.
Right. But
Understand. Yeah.
that is what is happening in some of those courts that say, oh, yes, I'm fantastic. I want to use electronic documents, no
Mm.
paper,
Mm.
and then I have to get a lawyer to go and click, 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 click. That happens in the Court of Appeal
Mm.
and the federal court, right? So
Okay.
always I have to bring a junior in for the sole
Okay.
purpose of clicking on
Yes.
the documents,
The PDF
right?
documents. Understand.
Because I can't afford to be doing that when I'm
Correct.
in the flow of my argument.
Correct.
And then I'm also, splitting my mind into thinking, should I click this one, or is it under
Correct.
this header, or is it in this tab?
Correct.
That's ridiculous, right? Because that would just
Mm.
completely destroy my concentration,
Your
right?
thoughts. Yeah. Correct. True.
So what happens is that I will say, I'm referring to this document. Oi, oi, quick, 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 quick.
Correct.
Somebody is, having to
Yes.
click
Somebody
in.
to, yeah, assist.
Then we go on, right? So,
Mm.
but then it's a waste of a lawyer
Correct. To
right?
do that,
Because
actually.
all the lawyer is doing is clicking on
Yeah.
on the screen, you know.
Yeah. Understand.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you support employee, I mean your staff emotionally during this change?
So far, I've not had
No
any
issues,
sort
right?
of emotional
Yeah.
changes,
Okay.
issues. But it's a but internally is, as I said, you know, it's a challenge for
Mm-hmm.
some junior lawyers,
Okay.
uh, or even some lawyers, because they
Mm-hmm.
have to now start thinking and start going into
Digital.
the strategy and the soft
Mm-hmm.
skills much earlier than they should.
Correct.
But this
Mm.
is now, even now today is playing out, right? There's
Okay.
no
Yeah.
conclusion, you know, that
Mm-hmm.
I can give you now because it's happening now, right?
True.
You
True.
know, so I am observing my people as well, see
Mm-hmm.
how best they deal with it.
But any feedback from them about
No, no,
this?
the feedback is they realize that this is the new
It's a new,
reality.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this
That's
is the
right.
new world that we're living
Correct.
in,
Correct. Correct.
right?
Is
You
it
know,
more
and you
significant
can't.
right after COVID?
Yeah, especially, you know, because COVID, the
Right?
time, you know, because a lot of the video hearings and video
Mm-hmm.
conferencing
Correct.
happened
Zoom.
during
Yeah.
COVID. And so they had to learn how to do all these things. I remember the first trial I had to do during COVID. You know, I mean, it was useful in one sense because, you know, I had three witnesses in China, two different
Mm-hmm.
places in China,
Okay.
in Shanghai and in
Mm-hmm.
Guangdong, right?
Mm.
Then
Yeah.
I had a witness in East Malaysia,
Okay.
right? And then of
Mm-hmm.
course we are in KL, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't travel across. You know, I'm
That's
stuck
right.
in Singapore, so I was in Singapore. You
Mm.
know, coincidentally, my opponent was also like me. You know, living in Singapore, is stuck in Singapore as well.
Mm-hmm.
But our offices are in KL, right?
Mm.
So we had a situation where we were conducting a trial over basically, over two countries and six locations,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So, you know, I'm in Singapore, my opponent counsel is in Singapore, our officers are in KL, the judge is in KL, the witness is in East Malaysia, another witness is in Guangdong, and
Mm-hmm.
then my instructing solicitors,
Mm-hmm.
which are the Chinese lawyers, are sitting in Shanghai,
Mm. So it's
right?
all
So
over. So yeah.
all over. So my team had to learn how to do all of that,
Correct. Correct. Do they
right?
face
They had to learn how
any
to do all of
challenges
that.
like I mean initial stage they do face, right?
Yeah.
But how do you help them with this to adapt to this
Sorry,
uh
I was not very much help. They're
they're
all
just forced to
younger than
learn.
me. I'm the
Yeah.
dinosaur. You
Okay.
know, so you know,
Yeah.
I mean, they are the younger generation. They're much
True. True.
more familiar with webcams and things like that.
That's right.
And
That's right. Yeah.
so so they I mean it wasn't anything that I could help with. All I could say to them was to do it in a certain way so that it'll be easier for me to present the
Correct.
case,
Okay.
right?
Great. Great.
But they were quite they were quite ready to start to do all these things now.
Great. Great.
So as I said, it wasn't much help.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I could help with, as I said, there's certain ways in which I want to present the information,
Mm-hmm.
right? So hopefully they see why I want to present it in that way,
That
and
way.
that
Yeah.
will that will give them an idea of
True.
how you should
Mm.
conduct future cases, right?
Okay.
But
Great.
apart
Great.
from that, on the
Mm-hmm.
technical side of it, I think they had to find out that for themselves.
Yeah, understand. Okay, Mr. Woon, thank you so much. I mean, as for my
Sure.
section is done, I will pass on to Vicky, our colleague,
Okay.
and then
Hi,
yeah.
Vic.
Hi, colleague, to you.
Thanks, James. Hi, Mr. Un. I'm Vicky here.
Hi, hi.
Hi. So my one is employee adaptation to the mindset and capability building.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So it's more to like effective of the digital transformation initiative in Malaysia law firm.
Yes.
Okay,
In fact, I've
my,
spoken a lot about it already.
yes, it is.
Yeah, that particular part of it, earlier on.
Yeah,
But yeah, please go
yeah,
ahead.
correct.
No, just sure. It's like what is the advice will you give on others on for this digital transformation, Mr. Un?
What? I'm sorry. Come again.
What is the advice will you give others on this digital transformation on
Okay.
this?
Find a skill that the AI cannot replicate.
So it's
Because
like,
now we are like mice, with the big predator out there, with the big tiger out there. The tiger is eating everybody. And then you must make sure that you have a skill or you have a set or a mindset to survive while the tiger is eating everybody else.
it's mean like
Okay.
which one is like AI also don't have.
Yeah, because AI will kill everyone,
Yeah.
right? We are only starting to see it, but it will kill every single job that is repetitive, right? It will kill all of it. And so, we are, as I said, Malaysia is also not very fast in picking this up. But it's starting to happen, and then it will be an unstoppable wave because the proposition that AI gives is so irresistible, right? What is your argument for hiring 100 people when one AI
Can do.
and three computers can do it?
Yeah.
Cannot, right? So what I say to my younger lawyers is this. I mean, we are in a profession, the legal profession, where it actually makes a difference, right? Because we're dealing with human things, right? I'm not deciding how big the bolt is to be fitted onto a car, right? Or I'm not a scientist, right? So those professions, AI can replace, right? So I just bought a watch from Casio, which says that the design, and it's a quite innovative design because it's 2 or 3 layers, was done by AI, G-Shock, Casio, right? So, which means that it has replaced maybe a team of 50 designers back in Japan for that one watch, right?
All right. It's more value
So,
for AI than
exactly.
human.
So, it's the same thing for the legal profession.
Mm.
There are some things that AI can do very well and will do better than you. And that's why you have to find skills. You have to develop within yourself those skills which the AI cannot yet reproduce,
Correct.
right? Strategy, the soft skills, dealing with the client, ensuring the client's happiness, right? Ensuring the client is with you in terms of how the case is being fought, right? Ensuring that the client is informed, right, and understands what you're doing. So all these things AI cannot yet do, right? So in order to survive, as I say, like the mice and then the tiger in the room, so you have to be the mouse. You have to be the mouse to run around to get to those areas where the tiger cannot get to.
Okay. So what is the it's like what is the challenge where very hardest to manage in this digital
They have to
transformation?
change their way of thinking and they change their way of doing. They cannot say to me, I did a fantastic piece of research. Please congratulate me. In 5 years' time, AI will do the same thing. You've
Yeah.
lost your job, right?
Okay.
So then the lawyer needs to come back to me is this is the research and this is why it is important and this is how we can use it to help the client as part of the strategy. Okay, so that second part, younger lawyers must now develop much earlier than they used to be.
Yeah. True.
Okay. So Mr. Woon, what is the resources you feel like were missing in this digital transformation?
Money,
Money.
you have to pay
Customized.
people,
Yeah.
right? You have to pay people. You have to pay for equipment. You have to pay for people, right? And the human resources, I mean, I suppose what we would like to see is perhaps educational institutions, perhaps like a university and other educational institutions uh, also think about what legal education means when everything is available at a click of a button, right? When I was in university, right? So what they do is that they give you the reading, right? You go to the library, you go and pick up all the legal authorities, go and photocopy all the legal authorities, go back to your room, and then you read the legal authorities, and then you come up with the essay. Right? Now, somebody can just query ChatGPT for the essay.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for legal education? What does that mean for the lecturers? My wife is a lecturer in
Okay.
Ngee Polytechnic in Singapore.
I see.
Alright.
Right? So for her, it's like, how do I assess the students when they can produce everything by ChatGPT?
Yeah.
What are the tricks that she can put in the questions so
Okay.
that it will betray? If they use ChatGPT, it will be betrayed. She's thinking of things like that, right? So legal education has to take into account this. Then how do you assess that person as a lawyer, as a law student? Right? Is it because it's better at using ChatGPT than anyone else? Is that what you are trying to assess the student? Right? So as I said, from that time when I was a student, it's vastly different now. So that time, those days, they will assess, oh, you found all the cases. Wow, very good. Right? You found all the relevant cases. Oh, very good. Even better. That one I can give you a B. Right? And then you analyze the case. That one I can give you an A. Right? But now, finding the cases is just a click of a button.
AI.
Huh?
AI
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how do you assess the student? What does that mean? Right? I'm sure these debates are going on. I hope that these debates and these discussions are going on all over law schools, all over the world, Malaysia, Singapore, whatever, because it's a serious question.
It is.
So I mean, we do want, good people to come and join our firm. So that is a production line, right? People become law students to become lawyers, right? And so we want to make sure as well that our production line is also aligned with what we need as a profession, right? So that's a big challenge.
Yeah. But Mr. Woon, can I just to add on, any of your client noticed by lately, like your productivity or effectiveness of using this, like a AI tool or maybe any digital tool? Did they see any impact on your today?
Not in the sense that they will say to me, "Wow, you use AI, so
No, I mean,
fantastic."
in sense like, do they see or do you notice that the impression that you have created?
No, it doesn't get out.
Okay.
It doesn't get out. The fact that that AI is being used will not be reflected anywhere.
But did your
But
client
in
use
general
AI?
terms, it should lead to a faster response time for
Yeah,
us.
efficiency, right? Yeah.
Correct, efficiency, and generally the clients will be happier.
Yeah.
Right? But even that as well is not a very good measure, because once they're happy with something, then the next stage is then it becomes biasa, it becomes normal.
Correct.
And then the standards will go higher, right?
Correct.
So it's
And did
always
you-
an ever rising,
Yeah.
thing. Expectations are always ever rising.
True.
I think just now what the last point from Mr. Oon actually wrap up what
Yeah.
final question under Vignesh, which how do you build a long-term digital capability?
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
right.
simple. Get the resources of all the lawyers, which is the university itself, to find
Agree.
a better academic what they call curriculum to capture on this digital transformation development. That is where we'll equip. I think that will be the long-term
Yes.
digital capability solution. That is actually,
Because
So
now it's not content anymore. It used to be the case that you could get by getting a degree by knowing things, right?
is that
But knowing something now is much less valuable than knowing what to do with it.
Mm.
And so, to me, that's the biggest change in education, right?
Mhm.
When I was young, I used to go and 1 times 9
Same
equals
here.
9, 2
Yes.
times 9
Same
equals
here.
18. Can you imagine the hours and hours and
I
months that
understand.
you spend just memorizing the times tables,
To find a
you know?
case as precedent, we have
Ah,
to go through all Malayan law journal, Singapore law
yeah,
journal, all the books. Now you just
correct. Now just
Yeah.
AI.
pop, pop,
Click.
pop, 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 right?
Yeah.
so
But
it's
you need
fast.
to
It's
So yeah, so
verify the
it's
data is
very
correct
different
also, right?
now,
I think
right?
AI know.
So so it becomes, as I say, to me, I mean, speaking as an outsider, I mean, I'm not, I mean, also sometimes I have discussions with my wife as well, who's an educator. It seems to me that content is now no longer the measure of a student. You're assumed to know it because it's so easily available.
Hmm.
But what you do with it and how you measure what you do with it is going to be the thing.
That is the soft skill that the AI cannot
Ah,
do.
correct.
So at the end
Yet,
of the day, it's
yet,
still, yeah, yet, oh,
yet,
yet.
yet.
So at the end of the day, as for now, client satisfaction in terms of legal professional services, it depends on that. Though that other resources, it can be supported by this AI digital transformation. I think that's a wrap of our interview today, Mr. Un.
Okay.
Thank,
I hope
thank
it's
you
been
very much.
useful. Okay.
It's very
And
So much,
useful.
Mr. Woon.
yeah, and
Yeah,
Appreciate
it's
your
yeah.
your yeah time and valuable inputs actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
All right.
Okay.
Uh,
Have a good day.
okay. Around the table, Vignesh, anything to Mr. Un
Yeah.
before we wrap up?
Thank you for your time, Mr. Owen. Thank you for sharing
Welcome,
the
welcome,
everything.
welcome,
So in case
welcome.
that we made up, they meet you in Singapore, say hi then.
Sure. Looking forward
definitely
to
Well,
that.
Maybe just a
are
neighbor.
you working in law firms or whatever in
No, no, no.
Singapore?
I working towards Schneider. Schneider.
Oh, the
Yeah.
technology, the
Yeah, yeah. Schneider Electric Technology.
yeah, and yourself,
And
James?
Pardon?
I mean Mauni Novena, I'm working as a finance manager in one of the IVF clinic.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mauni Novena. So Novena,
So
anytime.
in Singapore, my firm is Un and Bazul,
Yeah.
LLC.
okay.
So and of course, Noor Zina is in KL and Petra.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Un,
Okay,
thank you very
Thank
much
you. Good evening.
okay,
for
bye.
all. Hello, good evening, Faisan.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you for having us today. We truly appreciate for your time. Okay, as per our introduction letter that we emailed to you, my name is Nur Aslina Ismail, and with me is my teammates, James.
Hi, Faisal. Thank you for actually accepting this invitation to be interviewed, right? And
It's my
we have
pleasure.
Vicky.
Hi.
My pleasure to meet you too, Vicky.
Okay, as per our email to you, the purpose of this interview is purely for education purposes. This is part of our thesis, which our thesis title is Leadership Sensemaking and Employee Adaptation Amid Rapid Digital Transformation in Malaysia legal industry. That's why TS Un and partner is selected as one of our respondent. Okay. Okay. As you are aware, there's a few questions and each of us will interview under each topic. So let us begin with the first section. My section is regarding the solidarity as a collective resilient mechanism. Okay. The objective of this topic is we want to find out how employee in the legal firms experience and interpret the digital transformation initiative. This is including the perceptions of the technologies, the usefulness, whether it is easy to use, and the impact on your legal professional identity. So that is under my topic. So we start with our first question. Faisan, what was your experience when the new technology was introduced? Because so far that we understand under the legal industry, it's not only about ChatGPT, AI, as well. We have for the procedure we have e-hearing, e-filing, so many transformations by the government itself. So can you share with us what is your experience when this was introduced?
So I think this was gradually introduced. It wasn't like, oh, from tomorrow onwards, everything is done online. So for example, I still recall for LHTN stamping. So when I was still a pupil, we had to physically appear at the stamp office, and each session would take us about 3 to 4 hours each time. And we have to bring like 3, 4 suitcases of documents and pile it on top of the counters. And even the LHDN officers are like confused and they need to check with their back team. So it's definitely a welcome move, I would say, for me personally, because right now we just do everything online. I don't have to prepare to get out of the office, to drive to LHDN's office. I don't have to make sure that during lunch hour they're available, or the particular officer that I need to speak to is in. I just submit my application online. And I think importantly also, there is a written track record. So previously when I go there, I have to prepare my own cover letter to get the officer to acknowledge receipt so that we can refer to my discussion with them. So like we had to create that paper trail ourselves. So right now with the online stamping, so we submit the application. There are like logged remarks, the time and the date that I submitted, the next step, which officer is reviewing it, their comment. Then when I see their comment, I address their comment. I amend the application online, and it's just within a few clicks away. Whereas if I had to appear at their office and they need certain amendments, I will have to bring back the piles of documents, go back to the office, and then physically change them, and then have to make another appointment to come again. So it's a really taxing, it's not just a mental taxing job. It's also physically very strenuous because a lot of the times LHDN offices, it's really hard to find parking. You have to double park, you have to walk under the sun, under the rain. If it rains, you're just basically at the mercy of the weather. And right now, at the comfort of my own office, I can get everything done within 5 minutes. And now that I'm so familiar with the stamping application online, I can do it with just a click away. Yeah, it's definitely a very welcome move.
So Faisan, can you describe what were your first initial reactions and concerns when in your industry, legal industry, all the regulations, all these things are converted into digitalizations in terms of compliance, as you say. What was your reaction?
You mean what's my concern, is it?
Yes.
I think my concern would be in the early days, the system that they have designed may not be user friendly. Certain things just don't make sense. Like, why do I have to go to this page to find this application? Or when I want to make certain changes, why do I have to redo the entire thing? So there were definitely glitches. It just makes you wonder how much thought was given into developing this website or this platform.
Okay. All right.
And also, I think the second concern is how quickly can they get back to me? Because when you start to use it, you're wondering who is the person behind it. Will they respond to me by the next working day? Because I'm answerable to my client who's calling me every second. So I need to make sure that who is the person handling my application online now. Yeah. At least when I see them face to face, I can get down the officer's name. I have your contact number, your email address. Whereas when I'm doing it online, I don't know where does my application go to.
in a way dealing with robots lah, machine.
Yeah, you're just wondering, is
Mm.
it just automated? Is there
Mm.
someone I can talk to? Is someone going to be held accountable? Yeah.
Okay. All right. My next question. How did your leadership communicated the changes in your office?
In TSOP,
Yes.
so I mean, I've only been in TSOP for 5 years. I've been in legal practice for 10 years. So early on, I think in 2016, they've already kickstarted all these move towards digitalization. So when I was in other firms, I don't think it was really communicated to you. It's just, this is how it works. You adapt. Either you adapt or you are fired. Yeah. In a lot of the big firms, there is no such thing as a step-by-step guide. I came from big firms, so there was no like hand holding. It's either the boss tells you, I want this done, you get it done. Yeah,
So
by hook or by crook. So there wasn't really like a system where they communicated things. Well, at least in my experience, I did not have that. I didn't have that kind of guidance.
like
I had to
training or briefing, nothing.
No, they
Find
just give
yourself.
you, the login details. Okay, you deal with it. You will just have to problem solve yourself. Deal with, maybe speak with another colleague who has done it before. Call the LHDN officer. I think in the early days, I still harass the officers in person over the counter,
Mm.
even though they tell me just do it online. But I'm like, no, I'm encountering difficulty. I need to know how to move along. And then eventually, I think they came up with like user guidebook, handbook, and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay.
But still, it was still like really troublesome to have to go through like the entire document. Yeah.
But Faizan, currently, the latest one, the digitalization transformations in terms of legal profession is using AI for your case study research and everything. This is just happened lately, I believe, when you are in TSO. So how do you feel on that, and how your management communicate to you on these changes?
Oh, okay. So I think for the tools that you have described to me, those are still on a subscription basis.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, we had like a trial with Nexus AI. So a trial period of I think 3 days where they allowed us to use it, to try using it. So it's definitely transforming because it definitely changes the way we do things, because previously with LexisNexis, it's for you to identify a case, it's still very difficult. You have to go through volumes of cases, a lot of like irrelevant things still come up, and then you have to open lots of tabs, go through lots of paragraphs of cases in order for you to summarize and whatnot. But with LexisNexis AI, when we tried using it, it can distill it, it can summarize each case into like just one short paragraph, and it can identify precisely which case supports which precedent. So it cuts through a lot of the time that what we used to do, like maybe research 8-12 hours, it's now been reduced to 1 hour at the longest, 1-2 hours.
I think Faizan, just now what you have explained is already answer my next question, which is how easy or difficult was it to learn the new system? So
I think
you are
for me, because I wouldn't say I think my generation, we are still quite computer savvy, so it wasn't very difficult to adapt. But I'm not sure if, let's say, someone of my boss's age group,
the
I don't
boomers,
know if,
the
yeah,
boomers.
I'm not
As-
sure if they will know how to use it. Yeah.
Definitely
I don't
for
think yeah.
definitely for Gen Z generations, it's easier for you to learn the new system. But you're saying that maybe the senior, the boomers, they might not that savvy in using
Yeah,
this new
correct.
system. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, my last question under this topic. Was there any support or training did you receive, and was it enough?
I think a lot of those platforms that offer those AI services, they do have trainings. like trial, before your trial, they do have some sort of training. So was it sufficient? I would think yes, because a lot of them are like quite advanced. The platforms are very advanced. It's very user friendly. The things are very self-explanatory. And also maybe because like I come from a generation where I'm also like more adaptable to tech. So I know how to tinker around and get the answers. Yeah.
Okay, that's all my question. Thank you, Pesan. So it's very insightful. So I will pass to my teammates, James, for his section.
Okay, Faisan, thank you so much for taking part in this interview. Okay, basically I'll be covering about your leaders, meaning to say your partners and your maybe your managers as a organization. How do they embedded organization value in you when for this transformation? All right. So don't worry, I'll just put it in a simple terms so that we can have a conversational interview. All right. Okay. Basically, the leadership communication, meaning to say your leaders communication affects your willingness to adapt to this the new system that you'll be using, meaning to say, for example, you are okay now they use the data transformation, right? Meaning to say they use all these technologies and AI and so on. So whether their communication affects your willingness to adapt.
Mm, I think I don't they they've always taken a quite a neutral position. Whatever that we need to that helps us in our work to be more either so that to enable us to produce our work faster or more
Mhm.
accurate, they've always been very supportive. So we can always like for example LexisNexis AI, I like after the trial period I could easily approach my boss and tell him that oh I've
Mhm.
had this trial and I did find these functions to be useful, and then however when it comes to the pricing things like that, it's for him to consider. So,
Okay.
in terms of communication in my current firm, because our hierarchy isn't like so far off between each other, we have quite a banter, so it's not so difficult to really bounce off any ideas or so like strategies for the firms or new
Mhm.
solutions. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks. And can I just check, did that increase your confidence in using new technology?
Mm.
Did the communication increase your confidence in using this new technology?
I would say 50-50. Even if we did not have that communication, I would still,
Mhm.
if I trust that this database or this platform is able to
Mhm.
help me in my work, I would just use it.
Mhm.
It wouldn't
Okay.
deter me or encourage me. Yeah.
All right. Whether that's why exactly that's my next question going to be whether did the leaders, what did they do to help you or to hinder you from, adapting to this new technology?
So they've
Whether
always
they were
been,
so, yeah.
they've actually been very open. I think my firm, our
Uh-huh.
Singapore partnering firm, OB,
Mm-hmm.
even in the very early days, they have
Mm-hmm.
always been taken a very innovative stance. Like they want to be the
Mm-hmm.
frontliners to
Ah,
adopt
okay.
technology
I,
in their work.
I see.
So
That's great. That's great.
there was very little resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel supported during this transition,
Yeah. Yes, I
or
would
you
think
were in
so.
the lurch?
Yes. No, I think like
Mm.
I mentioned, it was very easy to communicate
Mm-hmm.
our needs to our bosses, and
Mm-hmm.
we can, as long as we are able to explain to them why this particular platform can help our work, they've always been very supportive in
Very good. Very
adapting it.
good.
Yeah, adopting
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So, how did this leadership impact your overall experience?
Um, so you mean in the culture in my firm, right? Based
Yes,
on
like
their leadership.
how they very like whether they're supportive or they hindered. Sometimes certain people demand certain things to be done. Whether it helps you overall experience, like whether you enjoyed the journey for this transition. How do you feel about it? How was your experience?
Yes. I definitely enjoy this new age of legal practice because, like I
Mhm.
told you previously, LexisNexis was really a maze. Also, it's really hard for you to identify a particular precedent that your boss wants. You have to run down to the physical library. You have to spend hours. We had to work till 1, 2 a.m., then come back to the office by 6 a.m. just because we are searching for a particular legislation that supports our position or case law. And yeah, and it's just very laborious. So right now I can take on a more strategic perspective. Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing the strategy instead of doing the hard grinding at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now
All
I
right.
can, because I can already identify this case and I know, okay, for this matter, this is how I'm going to approach it. The cases just need to come in, fill it up.
Mm,
Yeah. And then I structure it. Yeah. So I feel like
okay.
now I'm a navigator, I'm a captain. Yeah, I can navigate
Awesome.
the
Yeah.
vessel. Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you so much for those thoughtful responses. Okay, now I will hand over to Vicky for the next part. Actually, Vicky, to you.
Hi, Faisal. Thank you for your time. Yes, so I will be covering for the employee adaptation through the mindset and capability building. Okay, my topic is like mostly is covering for infinity of digital transformation initiative in Malaysian law firms. So actually, my first question is, what advice would you give to firms starting digital changes? But since you already answered for the question with Aslina about the AI all, so I just move on to the second question. What should leader do to support employee better in this digital transformation actually?
I think they will need to have a very open mindset to accepting feedback from their subordinates. I think trust is also a very big component of this. So we are working for the same goal. Our same goal is, of course, our boss's goal is to have more revenue, bring in more revenue. In order to do that, we need recognition, and before you can get the recognition, you need to produce quality work. So before you can get quality work, you need to put in the hard work. So as long as we are aligned that our goal is actually common, it's the same. My boss's is more revenue. Ours is we want our work to be recognized, and we get that satisfaction, job satisfaction from doing a good work, right? And it has our authorship on it. So I think as bosses, because you just need to trust your subordinates. They are doing what they can to promote and to move the firm to the direction that you want the firm to move towards. So just listen to their feedback. So if they tell you that they will find this useful and if it aligns with your firm's budgeting, why not consider it? Yeah. And also to have more trust that, because I think maybe some bosses are unwilling because they feel like this is automated work, and what if it's wrong, do you not check it? So there's a trust issue. You need to trust that um these devices will be used ethically and correctly by your employees. I mean, there's a reason why you've already hired them to work for you, right? So you should give them that amount of trust and be open-minded to take in their feedback. Yeah.
Okay. Is it the arbitration make easier or harder? I mean, the situation in this digital transformation.
Is it harder or easier?
Yeah, harder or easier?
Um, you mean in terms of work process?
No. What he
Uh,
meant is the adaptation. Moving forward, let's say for example now you're using AI, right? So whether this transition is make you feel harder or maybe is easier for you.
For me, 100% much easier. Yeah.
is it like what support is like? Will you like you will have more in this digital transformation? It's like any other sources like like that.
Are you asking me about what other AI platforms that is
No,
available in the market?
no. What Vicky meant is in from your leadership, what kind of other support or resources if would have helped you more in terms of the digital transformation from your leadership?
I think because I don't find a difficulty, and like I mentioned, all of these AI service providers, right, they do provide training, and whatever queries we have, right, they have a general hotline email or even a WhatsApp away where you can just directly reach out to them. So it's not difficult. It's very because I feel like technology and really has connected us. So the platform could be based in the US, but we can just reach out to them very quickly and they respond very quickly. So it just feels like they're working in your office, but actually they're like several oceans away. Yeah.
Yeah, away. Yep.
Yeah. So I think communication is so much easier now with technology. It's just like what we're doing right now. It's like we're all in the same space. Yes.
Okay. So since this digital transformation technology has been changed, is it like the thing is suitable for your role? Is it?
Whether AI is suitable for my role, right?
No,
Yeah.
what Vicky meant is that with this digital transformation, has your role changed due to the technology?
Yes, in many ways it has changed. Now I have because I'm freeing up more time. Like instead of doing all the laborious case finding, legislation finding, cross-checking facts, I can compile tables with data very quickly. So now I'm wearing a strategic hat. I'm the one navigating the ship, like I mentioned. I'm basically what I'm trying to say is that um I'm basically the navigator. I approach there's a case at hand. Like let's say there's a legal query whether or not, let's say, you disclose or you do not disclose under listing rules or whatnot. So I can just take on a strategic hat. We want to say that you must disclose.
Rather than you are the one who
Uh,
collecting all the data, wasting your
Yeah,
time.
correct.
Now you are
Yeah,
more
correct.
on the strategic role.
Yeah,
So
I'm steering now. Yeah.
I will say that your role have to have changed, but in a positive manner.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's all my question. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Faisan. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us tonight.
Thank you.
So we really appreciate on your openness. And as you said, as we've informed earlier, all your sharing experience will be gathered as our data analysis. But before we end this interview, can we take one photo?
Yes, yes, sure. Yes.
1, 2, 3. Ah, hold on. All right. Thank you very much. See you.
Okay,
Thank
Thank you
you,
very
Faisan.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
all.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Puan Siti, good evening. First of all, thank you very much for your participation since our interview. As you know, we are students of UTM, professionals MBA, and our topic today for this interview is part of our analysis for our thesis, which the topic is sense making, leadership sense making and employee adaptation amid rapid digital transformation in the legal industry. So you are the right candidates who can help us to nail down what is the issue on digital transformation, because from your profile, you are an established partner in an established legal firm, One City. So with me today, I have James, Raj, and Vigneswaran. So we will take you through the question. So shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Puan. So, our first question is regarding transformations of leadership as sense making. So, the objective of this first section of the question is to know how the leaders in Malaysia legal firms make sense on the digital transformation, what is their pressure, and their construct on the digital initiative change. Then, secondly, we also want to know whether this sense making process by the leaders, they communicate rationally the implication and the benefit for the digital transformation. So our first question, what does digital transformation mean for your terms, for your firm?
Okay. All right. Thanks for having me. So, okay. In response to questions one, basically what it means by digital transformation for our firm, is actually we move away from conventional handling of files towards the digitalized. So for example, previously we had a very thick files, so everything we print out and then everything we do it manually. So in terms of accounts, filing documentation, so when it comes to digital, so everything needs to be digitalized. So we only print some documents that where we really need it, and the rest we will keep it into our we have our internal cloud where whereby we share, I mean we store most of our clients documentation. So because nowadays if you are aware, most of the clients they prefer to have a scan copy as well. So then we, as soon as we completed the transaction, we will scan and put it in our internal cloud system. So then we don't have pretty much a less thick files in our firm. So having said that, why it really means to us, so basically we have less cost on storage, and easier to have access if we need be, and I think we have more space lah basically.
Rather than last time, all the document around your table, right?
Yeah.
I can remember that,
we,
especially
we
for
need a lot of
conversing.
wardrobe. Correct.
Especially for conversing. So, my question number two, how did you realize the need for digital change for your firm?
Okay, I think we started during COVID-19. So
Okay.
obviously everybody, you cannot go to office, so you have to do work. You have to do work, mobile away from office. So this is the start, basically, that where we think that we may need to do away from the conventional way to digitalize. So I think that's a start. And then secondly, I think moving forward, most of our clients, especially because I think most of my clients are banks. So banks are now, they prefer all documentation to be sent hard copy one, and at the same time we have to send as well as scan copy. So that's another demand from our client, and that's why we start to engage with whatever resources that we have so that we can have everything in digital.
So mainly there's two factors. One is because of COVID, the change
COVID.
of the whole atmosphere at that time, and number two, client demand.
Client demand, correct.
All right. Okay. Now goes to the third question. What challenges or concerns did you expect in this digital transformation?
Okay. First, I think because of the you need to train your staff. Because most of my staff they've been with the firm for more than 20 years. So they basically I mean pretty much what do I say? They are actually
Conventional.
conventional one thing, they are complacent with what they are doing now. So sometimes clerical staff, clerks, so they do not want to learn something new. So when we start instructing them to to scan, so to them it's additional work. So I think that's one of the challenges. And second would be the cost, because now we have to do everything online, so we have to have our own storage. So we engage with a few provider. So I think that's another cost that we have to think about. And then I think thirdly, because of the privacy, so sometimes when everything in digital, there's a risk of a breach of security. So yeah, breach of security, breach of personal data. So that is something that we have to think about. But I think that pretty much remote, because sometimes we have because we've been engaged regularly with our provider. So if there's any, so far we don't have we didn't encounter any issues of security leak, but we need to be cautious, because that's one of the way that the banks pretty much when they give us. Yes, so we need to ensure that the security of our clients is our utmost priority lah.
Okay, all right. My fourth question: how did you communicate these changes to your team?
Basically we have a team meeting or department meeting. So, and then at the same time, whatever demand or request from clients when they want to move to a digitalized, so basically they will know, because we will share with our staff.
All right. Okay, my last question. How do you help your employees to understand and adapt to new technologies? We hear just now you said about all your challenges, right? So how you make them understand, how you help them?
Basically, I just inform them, oh, this is a new requirement. By you have to do it.
All right. I mean, sometimes you have to lah. It's a requirement.
Requirement, correct. But let's say if they found difficulties, so basically we provide training to them lah. Let's say if they have any issues, we have our internal IT, and sometimes we conduct training from case to case on, depending on the needs lah. But we do provide training.
All right. Okay, that's all from me. Then I hand over to James. Over to you, James.
Hey, hi, thank you, Aslina.
Alright.
Positive, I'll take over for the next section. Okay. Thank you so much for answering us a lot of questions. Okay, the next question will be, how is your communication influence the staff to adapt to the technology?
Okay, in terms of communication, because I treat my staff as a friend.
Okay.
So basically, I don't really dictate that we need to do. So rather than we have like a peers talk lah, basically, even though they are all older than me. So I think it helps, because otherwise we respect each other. I gain their respect, and they at the same time they respect my whatever my instruction. So I think most of my staff, they are aware the need of everything to be in digital. So they because some of them, they are independent, because most of them are independent. So sometimes they communicate directly with the client. So they know, I mean, they already know that the client wanted it to be something, whatever it is, to be in digital. So in a way, I think it helps our communication lah, because whenever we say, they already understood what they need to do.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, how do you handle if there's any resistance from the employee for this adaptation to the technology?
Okay, fortunately, my staff, they're all okay.
Okay, that's good leadership anyway.
I think it's like from COVID lah. I think COVID really opened the paradigm. So now it really helps, because as of now I didn't face any resistance from my staff.
Okay, that's great. That's good. Anyway, during this change, if they're emotionally affected, meaning to say they don't want to change and everything, how do you support them? Like,
Sometimes
remember
we
just now you
have,
mentioned that they are too complacent, sometimes
correct.
people are comfortable. So how do you emotionally, they are okay, they don't want to change, so how do you support them? How do you help them? Yeah.
Okay. I think recently, because they've been using a very old PC, so
Mm-hmm.
they keep complain.
Mm.
Sometimes they cannot access. Sometimes it's because of the computer is, I mean, quite old. So okay, I
Mm.
heard them. So then I request for new budget. So then
Mm-hmm.
I bought them a new,
Mm.
brand new laptop, or maybe brand new PC.
This is,
So
okay.
so I think that's one of the way that when because it's like
Yeah.
a two-way communication.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
they
I
they
understand.
they
Yeah.
provide a problem. I try to solve
Mm-hmm.
it. If something that I can solve, like this one, okay, I do understand your
Mm-hmm.
difficulty because you are using a very old PC, so you cannot access certain
Mm-hmm.
website. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably reduce your moral to do work.
Correct,
So
correct.
then they were saying, oh, you want us to do work fast, but you didn't support, something like that. So I
Mm.
heard them.
Understand.
then
Yeah.
then yeah, so I think at the end of the day they are happy with the decision. So whatever that
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some, yeah, that's how I
You
support
accommodate to
their.
their needs, like, actually, whenever they
Correct,
have
correct.
issues. Good, good, good. Okay. Did you receive any feedback from the employees about this adaptation?
What kind of feedback that.
Whether it can be like a positive feedback or negative, what kind of a feedback they do give you? Like, do they say it changes the way of them doing work, or?
Okay, I think what I can see now, I've seen that they are happy because obviously
Oh,
they've
okay,
got
that's
what they
great.
want. For example, they got a brand new PC, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Ah,
I fight for them.
oh, that's
So
good.
so I can see that they are happy lah. They are happy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. That's great. The last question, actually, you kind of answered, but maybe I'll
Yeah.
ask this. What actions help employee adapt successfully? What is your action that help them to adapt successfully? Like
Okay.
buying a PC is very good. One of the things.
I think of course I need to give a
Yeah.
good
Moral support.
justifications lah. I mean,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I need to fight from the management as well, so I need to give a
Yeah,
very
that's right.
good justification, which
Perfect. Yeah.
eventually the management
Mm-hmm.
accept my
Support. Mm-hmm.
accept my justification.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because I'm a type of person,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, I mean, I can pretty much see if there's any unhappy face, whatever treatment from my staff. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
like something that can jeopardize the harmonious in the department.
Correct.
So
Correct.
whenever I've seen something is not right, so I would
Mm-hmm.
usually just call them up and ask what is the problem. So then we will try to solve it because I like to live in harmony.
Yeah, I totally
So
agree.
I think that's
Actually, a happy staff will be very productive staff too.
correct.
True, true. And thank you so much, Posniti. And then I will pass on to Vicky for the next section. To you, Vicky.
Thank you, James. Hi, City. I'm Vicky. Okay, my one is employee adaptation through mindset and capability building. Okay, my first question is, what advice will you give like for others on this digital transformation?
What advice? Okay, I think to other people, I would say any digital transformation is not relates to just on IT project. You know, sometimes because when people when you say about digital transformation, in your mind, you might probably think something about IT. So I think it is more than that. I've had an experience working in the UK, so I can see that their digital is pretty much advanced. So in the sense that they don't really save the documents, whatever work that they are doing on the PC. So they have their own internal system, which I think at the moment my current company would not cannot afford to have the same technology. So because of that, what are the advantage if your staff is leaving? So all the documents is already in the server. So you don't have to worry because sometimes there are people leave the company and they feel bitter, so they delete whatever that they have. So you can avoid that. I think that is what law firm in Malaysia they need to think about lah basically, because not just to think about this one time. So it's actually more than that.
Okay. My second question is like in this digital transformation, what challenges were hardest to manage?
Challenges that hardest to manage. I think to apply in my current organization, I think because the staff they think it's double work. For example, when I ask them to scan, because last time they are very much complacent with just doing one time binding, preparing hard copy with a very thick of papers. So when we still need to do it, but at the same time, I will ask them to make a scan copy, which eventually will cost more time to them. So rather than, because it's like a double work to them. So I think that is one of the challenges lah. Because due to that, some of the staff they take longer time to complete the work.
Okay. My third question is it like I got any suggestion like differently to do on next time for this digital transformation?
I think to do more structured training, and I really like the style in the law firm in the UK. But I think at the moment I have to save it for now because I think it's very costly lah. It's actually very good because you can avoid a lot of missing files, missing documents, loss of files. That is one of the, if I can get a better solution, I think that will be a better solution for my company.
My fourth question is like, is it like any support we're missing in this digital transformation?
Okay. In terms of the vendor, because the vendor is currently IT company for digitalization, and some of them they don't really know the needs specifically for legal firm. So probably they just treat us as a similar to the other company. For example, if we want to have our own um automation in terms of drafting documentation. For example, we want to have a legal documentations. So we want to have automation. For example, okay, this is the first task to do, click. And then next click. I don't think the IT our current vendor will understand that lah. So we will need to further sit down and discuss with them because currently our vendor is a normal typical IT company.
Okay. My last question is, how do you build long-term digital capability in this digital transformation?
I think to build a long-term digital capability is throughout continuous learning. So the more you learn, the more you'll be capable of doing. Because I think digital is very huge. It's not just confined into one certain area. So this is where you need to know. I mean, and you need to learn continuously lah.
Okay, understand. Thank you. I will hand
All
over
right.
to Aslina.
Thank you, Puan Siti. Thank you, Vicky.
Thank
So I think that's all our question. Thank you very much, Puan Siti. Before we end this, just to let you know, the purpose of this interview is actually, as per our introduction letter, is only for our thesis. And can we have one photo?
Oh, sure.
All right, hold on ya. My rambut tak cantik. 1, 2, smile. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Wait, ah. I think hold on, yeah. Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum. Good evening, Cik Faris. Thank you very much for your participating in our interview session. As what we have informed you in our introduction letter, we are MBA student from University Technology Malaysia. So the title of our thesis is Leadership Sensemaking and Employee Adaptation Amid Rapid Digital Transformation in Malaysian Legal Industry. Since Encik Faris is from legal firm, Hisham Sobri, that's why we are glad that you agreed to participate and give our the thought on this issue on digital transformation on behalf of the employee. Because just now we have interviewed Puan Siti for the leadership section.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So shall we begin the interview?
Yes.
Thank you. So our first section is about the solidarity as a collective resilience mechanism. Basically, we wanted to know whether the employees in the Malaysian legal firm have experienced and interpret digital transformation initiative. This is including how useful the technology, whether it is the use and your impact in terms of professional identity. So, first, we would like to know what is your experience when the new technology was introduced to you?
Okay. So, coming from an in-house background, in-house lawyer, corporate counsel background, the mechanics of private law firms' billing system, for example, at my firm, they call it spider law. Uh, this was entirely new to me when spider law was introduced to me by my colleagues, by my bosses, and by my clerks. It was my first real exposure to this side of legal practice, even though the software itself is an older system. And another one example that I can bring up is the use of Unify Cloud. I was corporate counsel or in-house counsel for telecom actually for almost 8 years, but because I at that time I was at telecom from 2012 until 2020. Not to say that the cloud culture is apa tu not introduced yet at ATM, but at that time, but I was not introduced regarding the cloud system as a work culture lah. Work culture, because I don't have I have only internal clients. Our process owners at telecom, right? Not like in a law firm where my client is external client. So the cloud system is very, I think, convenient way lah, because we are dealing with apa tu financing clients kan. The CP, the condition precedence document is very I would say very it's quite apa ni, banyak. It's quite,
Banyak.
yeah,
Okay.
it's very,
You are saying that compared to your previous employer, once you join legal firm, instead of big organizations like telecom, this is where you have to use the new system
yes,
because you join.
because the thing is my workload at TM is generally I only vetting documents, right? I'm a corporate counsel, so I didn't need to use
System.
cloud. Yeah, cloud.
Cloud system. All right. Now, would like to know what was your initial reactions or concern when you have to adapt these new technologies?
My initial reaction, I would say, positive, because I didn't have concern regarding yang the apa spider law tu. I didn't have concerns. Instead, I saw it as a great opportunity. I knew that understanding how billing works is crucial for business side of a law firm. So at that time, I okay lah, spider law.
Okay, understand that. So when you join the firm, it's good saying that it's good for you, but did your leadership communicate to you about these changes? Your
Okay.
bosses, your
Oh yeah,
management.
yeah. Okay, okay. My bosses communicated it as a growth opportunity, because even though actual billing is generally handled by clerks, right? But my bosses actively encouraged me to get hands-on lah with the system, because dia club biasanya pukul 6 dah habis. Kadang-kadang I kena stay back. So masa tu I kena buat spider law kan. So kalau I tak I did not get used to the spider law system, it's actually quite difficult lah for me to do my job.
So you are saying that your leaders in your firm encourage you to train more
Yes.
lah, so that you
Yes.
can get familiar with all the
Yes.
system. All right,
Yes.
okay. So how easy or difficult was it for you to learn the new system?
It was relatively
Hi, Puan Islinda. Shall we begin our interview? Okay, the first section will be on transformational leadership as sense making. So the purpose of these questions is for us to understand how the leaders in Malaysia's legal firm make sense on digital transformation, where what is their initiative due to the technology changes, the leadership initiative towards the digital transformations. That one part. On the other part, also we would like to know the leadership sense making process, where how they communicate, how they rationalize, and what is the benefit that they gathered due to this digital transformation. So that is this section's objective. So the first question is about what does digital transformations means to your firm?
Right. With the current current situation lah on the firm, for the best thing for a firm to be a niche in market lah. It has to be efficient. So when efficiency is where you can actually just access your files anywhere and everywhere or whenever you want, instead of you have to go and find the physical files to get status and everything. So with digitalizing whatever that we have in the firm as in regards to the files, we can actually increase the efficiency lah of our firm.
How about a few apps that I understand in the markets, like for legal search, precedence is online, and how about AI also?
Well, it does help a lot when we use all these technologies, whereby it really give us the impact of serving our clients better.
Okay, so how did you realize that your firm need this digital change?
Well, as nowadays everything is like speed matters. So the clients expect you to have like instant updates via WhatsApp or email or something like that. So when we have this digital system in our firm, whereby the answer to our updating status to our clients, it will expedite it, where we can only search on whenever that we want on the status, and we can just provide our clients all the updates lah, accordingly.
So in a way, you notice that your firm need this digital change because it increase the productivity and you become more competitive.
Yeah, it's of course is actually is like when clients nowadays they will like to compare services where is either slow service or fast service, so we have to be there lah.
A bit. Okay, so what is the challenges or concerns did you expect when you decided to have this digital transformation?
Oh, okay. Well, actually it's like I expected the how do you say where especially when it involves senior staff, where they are quite not to say elderly, but they are seniors. So they might have resistance for the new system to be applied. So and those are the things that it actually concerned me, and also because of the cost of the system is for legals is quite, it's not cheap. So I wasn't sure if the ROI is immediate when I have the system. So it's staff and also financial lah
So
on those areas.
yeah, your investment for your return of
Having the
investments,
system.
yeah, having the system compared to your sales and turnover every month. So
Correct.
whether it can project the right profit to your firm. Understand?
Yeah,
Understand?
and it's lucrative.
You mentioned about senior staff.
Yeah.
All right. So you having that difficulties. I mean, this is the challenges. Is that because of the senior staff is already complacent with the conventional way? Is that one of
Yeah,
the challenges?
one of I think one of the reason is because they have been doing it manually for a long time, and in order for them to actually convert their way of working is quite challenging for them as well. So I do understand their situation, and some of them are actually not into IT so much. So those are the challenges lah for them as well.
So you notice the challenges. How did you communicate these changes to your team?
Well, actually, I don't really have a memo or something like that, but I just, gather them and tell them, okay, um, team, we really need to change as, the world is changing and we need to keep up with the world. And I actually introduced the system to them, where I said I will actually will guide them and see how it goes, to upgrade the firm lah. So
So
the most important thing is that I told them that we need to be on a higher standard than what we had before.
okay, so that's mean you did help your employees in a way. So
Yeah. Actually, to understand and adapt new technologies, it takes someone to guide them, especially with the stuff that they are not actually tech savvy. So it's actually to point out to them why is it important to have a system. What makes sense to have the system logically. So let's say if like how it helps them with the technologies, and once they understand the technology, how it helps them, how it benefits them, so they will actually think about it, and feels that, oh yeah, yeah, the system is good, so they will like to learn about it, or
it, in
engage
a
with
way,
the system.
Puan, you have a talk sessions with your staff, and then try to make them understand the need of this digital transformation
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that you
yeah,
can
we had
support.
we had several meetings on this.
Okay.
It takes time as well.
All right. That's all from my sections. So thank you, Puan. I hand over to James for his question. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks,
sure.
Azlina. Okay, for Ms. Linda, I'll take over from here. Okay,
Right.
basically, I understand that you have your, meaning to say you have your meetings with your staffs for
Yeah.
these changes and everything.
Mhm.
How is your meeting influence them to adapt to this transformation?
Well, I actually to approach them,
Mm-hmm.
actually I invited the vendor of the
Mm,
system as well to actually
okay.
explain and tell them what is the system is all about and how it can help them,
Mm-hmm.
and if things doesn't work,
Mm-hmm.
the vendor will always give them the solution, and those are the things that actually trying to get them involved
I
on
see.
the system itself.
I see. I see. Can I also check with you? Do you involve them, uh, like a decision making for this transformation?
Again, sorry.
Do you involve them in the decision making? Meaning to say, do you involve them to take part of to thinking how do we do the transformation? Do you do them? I mean, do you take? I mean, like involve them?
Not much really, because
Mhm.
for me, giving them the option is
Mhm.
not really a part of the management.
Yeah, I
So
understand. Yeah.
yeah, because their resistance is quite, you know,
Yeah.
strong if we give them the option. So
Okay, understand. Yeah, that's why actually I wanted to also when this when you face this resistance from this employee,
yeah.
how do you handle that actually?
Of course, IT support is always, you know,
Mhm.
need to be um together with them.
Mhm.
So usually with the senior staffs, they don't really, as I said previously, they're not
Mm,
tech savvy so much.
that's right.
So one of the solution that I have is that I get a younger staff to
Mhm.
actually like cross monitoring or something like that, so that
Mhm.
they can actually, the senior staff helps the younger staff to for with the legal experience whatever that they
Mhm.
have, and the junior will actually teach the seniors on the tech skills lah.
All right. Looks like a trading exchange, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
that's good. That's good. So, for example, during this change, right?
Yeah.
If the employee, like even your staffs, like emotionally challenged, like during this change, how do you support them? It's
And
like they're
emotion.
emotionally, yeah, disturbed. I mean, they say, it's very hard. It's tough. I
Yeah.
mean, so how do you
And
handle them? Yeah.
pujuk lah. It's
Yes.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
give them like, you know,
I understand.
I say, how do you say, tell them
More
that, you
moral
know,
support.
something like that
Yeah.
lah. They saying that, okay, it won't affect lah your KPI or something like that. So, you
Okay,
know,
okay.
Oh,
Is it like
yeah.
a learning curve for them too, right? I mean, for them to know more.
Yeah, because the thing is, whatever it is, you really need to actually guide them as well. You
Yeah.
know, with that, it helps them to see that, oh, okay,
Mhm.
the management is okay with it. They give
Mhm.
us support, you know, so
Mm.
that they know that productivity will actually becomes better,
Mhm.
you know, in a way that they need to know about what are the benefits. So
Mhm.
emotionally, I actually say that these things to them so that they can actually feel it. Mm.
Okay. But did you receive any feedback from your team about this adaptation? Like, did you receive any feedback from this staff saying that either is like it is too much for them, or is it they are okay to cope? Or, what kind of feedback you receive, and then how do you handle the feedback?
Pro and cons lah, you know.
Mm, okay.
Well, because for them it's like uh what they have been doing is not is okay, so why do we need to change, something like that.
All right. Understand. Yeah.
So when we actually, when the hesitation is there, but we when we guide them and we show to them the advantage, the benefit, that, you know, what they can get with the system, where they can actually access the file easily without, you know, carrying all these heavy loads of thick files.
Mm, yeah.
So when they feel comfortable and easy for them,
Mhm.
so that is where I think they slowly shifted um, their resistance to acceptance lah.
Yeah, so that's how they can, adapt successfully for this change, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So also part of do you incentivize those who have successfully adapt to the system? Or how long was it take actually? Just want to get an idea.
Mm, well, I think for the first 3 months is quite tough for us.
Mm,
But then when we actually try to find solutions that
mhm.
how we can help
Okay.
the employees, the staff. So like when we actually decide to upgrade um our hardware as well,
Mhm.
computer,
Mm,
buying new computers, new proper
mhm.
tools, you know,
Yeah.
so it will actually help them with that.
Yeah, great, great. Okay. Upon Linda, I'm done with my section. Actually, I'll hand over to Vicky to carry on.
Okay, sure.
Hi, Panisla.
Hi. Okay.
Okay, my question is, what advice will you give to others on this digital transformation?
Uh, well, actually, advice. Let me see. Um, the advice for digital transformation is that as a for the management of the office, you have to actually know about the system. Uh, you have to use it first. You know, then only that you can actually teach or introduce the system with your staff. So it doesn't mean that you have to be the most, it doesn't mean it has to be expensive, the most expensive software, whatever that they have in market. So whatever that you can actually simplify so that your employees or staff can actually understand easily. So that is the most I think that you need to do first lah.
Panisla, what was the challenges which you feel it's like very hard in this digital transformation?
Again, sorry.
What was the challenges that you feel like very hard in this digital transformation?
Oh, okay. Oh, of course. The hardest part will be on data entry and digitalizing whatever that we have physical. You know, it was yeah, for the few months it was a mess. Because when we decide to actually transfer all the datas, all the informations to the system, it's not easy, because as we discussed earlier, as I mentioned earlier, the staff that we have is like, senior staff. So to get physical to digital is challenging lah.
Okay. Is there like any support like you feel is like missing in this digital transformation?
Mm, missing. Uh, well, actually, I don't think is missing, but um, it's just that somehow how do I say, uh, on the system for legal firm, because legal firm um has many like, for example, like myself is in convincing. So there are other legal firms with litigation, like civil cases, criminal cases. So different firms have different expertise. So to localize the IT support is like sometimes they don't they don't really understand what we really need. Like for a convincing, what are the system is as such where we need to have uh, many how to say parties like banks, agents, uh, vendors, purchasers. So we have loan solicitors, we have vendor solicitors, we have purchaser solicitors. So there are so many parties involved, whereby how you need to have the system that actually support or can actually convey the status to all of these parties. So that is quite, I say, a hitch lah, something like that, for the system to actually cover all the parties involved.
My last question is like, how do you build long-term digital capability in this digital transformation?
I think with yeah, because with the youngsters nowadays, they are more tech ready, So having new staff, or when I actually employ new staff, I would actually have the um interview on whether they know technologies and what are their strength in technology. And also I think in order for us to have this long-term digital capability, I think the management also have to have um the, which is called innovation budget, something like that, so that you can actually keep updating, and so that it doesn't stop the momentum lah.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you, Puan Slinda. That's my understanding.
One, Islinda, I have one additional question actually. When you
Yeah.
talk about the long-term digital capability, what do you think about the current Malaysian's university in law degree on the syllabus, whether the syllabus in the university itself ready with the market change, where actually there's a demands on technical savvy in legal industry. So what do you think about the university? Are they there to be ready for the market demand?
Well, I am not so sure what are the syllabus that they have in the university, but if possible, they need to have something like knowledge. I mean, the students needs to have knowledge about when they go outside and they are in market, when they work for a legal firm, they have to know that what are they going to face. So like you say, for the technology, everything is online. It's not like before. So I am not so sure whether the lecturers in the varsities are well versed with this. So because most of the lecturers has been in the university for quite some time. So the practice in the market is no longer like before. So uh, I think if they have actually an extra class or something, or where they get practitioners to actually give some talk to the students, or what are they going to face in the reality of a lawyer in the market, then I think that would be one of, if they can be one of the syllabus, it would be better lah, you know.
Thank you, Fan, for your thought about that, because we are also looking what kind improvement that should be there in our legal industry. First, it must be ready from where is the resources, where all the lawyers, legal practitioners graduates. Thank you very much, Puan Islinda, for your comments. I think that's
Right.
all. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you
for
very
having
much.
me.
Huh?
Then
Nampak okay
Assalamualaikum. Cik Irwan, very good morning.
Yes, very good morning. Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam.
Sorry to disturb you this Saturday, your weekends. Thank you very much. Agree to participate in our interview.
Okay.
As per our introduction letter, this interview is recorded. This is purposely for educational for MBA, University Technology Malaysia. So our thesis title is Leadership, Sensemaking and Employee Adaptation Amid Rapid Digital Transformation in Malaysian's legal industry. That's why, your firm and yourself are selected to participate in our interview, so that we can gather further informations about the digital transformation impact. So the first sections of our question, Cik Irwan. Before we go on that, let me introduce. With me also is myself is Aslina, Nur Aslina. With me is James and
Hi, Mr. Irwan.
and
Hi.
Vicky.
Hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Vicky?
You too.
I'm Serwan and Vicky. How are you? Hope you're
Okay, fine.
Cik Irwan,
Your home
what
ada
is
nak
Can you hear me? Boleh dengar?
Yeah, good.
Alright.
Cik Irwan, can you a little bit introduce yourself?
Okay. My name is Irwan Adnan. I work at Nazri Azmi Islinda, where I'm a conveyancing clerk. So I can be considered as a veteran or orang lama lah dalam industri ni.
Senior,
So
senior.
senior ya, kalau yang Puan Is mention senior tu most likely to be me lah kan, and others lah, ada 2-3 orang lagi.
It's
Right.
okay. We want to listen both sides from the leaders and the employee. That is the purpose of our analysis actually, Cik Irwan. So
Okay.
first, can you let us know what was your experience when the new technologies was introduced to you?
The experience is quite mixed. From myself being a senior yang memang dah biasa dengan the old ways of doing things, bila Puan Is decided untuk to introduce new system, more IT kan, so it's quite mixed. I myself is very receptive lah, but then there are quite few of us yang resistant, and then the transition felt messy at the start lah, because not everyone was on the same page. There were also moments yang where our bosses, even Puan Is and her assistant pun not quite sure how to handle troubleshooting for the system lah kan.
So,
They
so
pun tak
Encik
understand
Irwan,
mula-mula.
so Encik Irwan, you are saying that at when the beginning of the digital transformation, there's a few type
Hiccup
of
lah.
asset.
Yeah. Ada resistance lah. Quite few resist to the system.
There's a resistance to the system and a lots of troubleshooting.
Yes.
Okay.
It doesn't feel structured at first lah.
Okay, not structured. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what were your initial reactions or concerns when this happened?
I'm afraid that I will make mistake lah in slowing down my work. That is what at first kita afraid kita buat ni silap ke, kita takut nanti kan salah, nanti kan IT person nak kena betulkan ke, macam tu lah. Some colleagues were more negative, but me myself I'm positive about it, because nowadays pun dengan all the AI everything, even my work pun I pakai AI, so I'm very receptive lah for the changes on the system.
So I will summarize that during the initial digital transformation, you feel that it at the end of the day it still can help your productivity. Though that in the very beginning you are worried whether you make a mistake, slow down the work. Okay, understand. But at the end, it's give a positive feedback.
Yeah, it's quite okay now. We adapt.
Okay. All right. So how did your leadership communicate these changes to the staff and to yourself?
Leadership, especially Puan Is, did communicate, but it was not always clear and consistent lah. At times, it feels like they were also learning as they went, right? The bosses also learn the new system. It's not that they become expert suddenly, right? It's instruction sometimes change, which cause kadang-kadang confuse kan kita lah, confusion. So that having said that, they did try to update us lah regularly on the system, so that we can become more familiar with the system.
Okay, so it's two-way communications between the leader and the employees, so that both party understand.
Yes.
In summary, it's because the leader also in the learning curve together with the staff.
Betul.
Understand. So how easy or how difficult was it when you learned the new system?
It's not straightforward, but some features were easy, some were not, some were confusing. So, but the biggest challenge was to adaptation of different people learning at different speed. So me myself pun I'm not a slow learner lah, but then I'm in the medium learning process, and then ada yang slow, yang me myself have to help. Kak kena buat macam ni, ni kena kan. So we each other among staff pun tolong menolong lah. We help each other to understand and being up to speed lah.
Okay, so I mean teamwork, the spirit of teamwork between staff and employer, so to overcome the problem. So you did that, right?
Because kalau ada delay, one delay, because our work is flow, so ada workflow tu. Jika ada satu delay di one part, dia akan delaykan yang lain lah. So everybody has to up to speed lah actually.
I mean the ecosystem. So if one part delay, that's why you have like teamwork, help each other, so that everybody understand to make sure that your KPI achieve. Something like that, sir. All right.
Yes,
how about during that period, did you receive any training, or whether there is any support from your management?
Not from the management, but the IT team, the IT support in our company is very helpful. They responded quickly, and then even though the training is for myself, it wasn't enough at the beginning, but most of us learn through trial and error lah. And then the IT guy is quite helpful in summary.
You seek help from the expert in a way.
Yes, point is memang dia dah bagi IT guy, yang ni IT guy memang kena learn dulu lah kan. When they learn, they know, then they teach us.
So your management provide an IT expert support. So when the staff have problem with the digital transformation, you have their expert people next to you to help the staff. Something like that?
Correct, yeah.
All right. Thank you. That's all my question. I hand over to James. James, over to you. Thank you, Encik Irwan.
Yeah,
thank you, Azlina. Hi, Mr. Irwan.
Thank you,
I'll take over from here. Yeah. Okay,
Right.
I understand you have this communication between your employer and then the employee, but how does this affect the staff's willingness to adapt to this transformation? How does this communication help?
It helps. Yes, it did. When communication was clear, we felt that we are more willing to adapt lah. The staff, me, myself, and the other staff, when the communication is the key lah.
It's the key.
When instruction clear and not kept changing instruction, then it more kita boleh senang faham dan kita boleh adapt.
True. I agree. I understand. Okay.
Because ada staff yang bila jadi confused, dia tend to avoid terus. Tak nak kan.
Correct. That's why that's the key thing. Actually, you're right. You're rightly pointed out, because that's the part where it give you willingness to adapt, to change. Otherwise, they will reject. Okay.
Betul.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, good. And how did that communication increase the confidence in the staff to adapt to this data transformation?
Yeah, but I think to some extent it helps when leaders became transparent. Our leaders, our bosses pun cakap, dia orang pun tak faham sebenarnya kan, tak berapa main.
Okay, yeah, true.
Transparent